If I look like I've been crying, I have. For a self-tape, I don't have real emotions. I've been doing acting work in LA for about 1.5 years now. Let's talk about some harsh realities of it.
I don't need to prove myself to anybody, but also I'm an achiever and I do kind of feel the need to prove myself. So here's some random clips of things I've done while out here. Yeah.
Number one, you're going to be working more than the average person. And what I mean by this is you're probably going to have a job outside of acting in order to make some extra income. So you'll be working there. And then I'm also going to refer to acting stuff as work. So despite it being so fun and we're all super passionate about it, technically it is work because it's going to be your career. And so between acting stuff and then your day job, you're probably going to be working well over 40 hours. So to kind of give you an example of my own life, I work 30 to 35 hours at my day job. And then I typically do around a gig or two a week. And so that's another like 10 to 15 hours usually. Gig work, it could be print modeling, it could be a local commercial, it could be a feature film, any of that stuff. I spend at least 8 to 10 hours a week submitting, I would say. Backstage, Casting Frontier, LA Casting, Actors Access, and Facebook groups. A couple of hours on self-tapes, a couple of hours each week on acting classes / just kind of doing things to learn more about the business. And I also have been creating a lot of user-generated content lately. So then that's an extra like 5 to 10 hours. So basically for me, it's like 40 hours of just income-based work between my day job and then creating a little bit of content on the side. That's like 40 hours. And then all the acting stuff I do on top of that is typically 20 to 30 extra hours. Working 60 hours, and the reason I use quotations is because acting stuff isn't necessarily super draining for me, which I think is why I'm able to do that. And if you genuinely love this craft so much, keep that in mind that yes, it sounds crazy to work 60 to 80 hours a week, but not all of that is going to be super draining work. I don't love to think of it all as work, but I guess overall that's the reality of it. Number two, because of this, you're probably going to feel left out in some scenarios. And I guess this is kind of just a part of adulting in general, especially when it comes to being friends with people that are maybe not actors, and so they just work like a 9 to 5 and they make sufficient income off that, and they just get to work their 40 hours a week and then do whatever they want with their extra time. But for you, when you have extra time, you're probably gonna have to be pouring that into acting stuff, and so that might mean that you're not caught up on the latest trends or the latest TV shows all the time or things like that. And I know for me, I used to feel really left out when I wasn't super like caught up on like current events and things like that, but I have chosen to give up some of those things because my energy is better spent elsewhere. Your friends that work 40 hours a week might be able to spend their weekends going out all the time and doing all these things, whereas for you, you might have self-tapes and auditions to work, and your only time to do that outside of your day job is the weekend, so you can't go out with them. I'm really lucky out here where a lot of my friends are actors and they totally understand, and we're all really, really busy. And so it kind of works out that we can't hang out, you know, all the time. It's just like a once a month thing or whatever. You're probably gonna feel left out of hanging out, maybe left out of current event things, whatever it is. I think just accepting that and knowing that you're making the right choice for yourself can really help. Number three, you're gonna have to get really good at managing your time because again, you're gonna have all of these things going on, but especially being an actor, auditions and jobs can pop up at any time. I've had day of bookings where I've booked that day to shoot at night. I've had night before booking, auditions where it's like a day or two turnaround. That happens a lot actually. You need to get really good at managing your time. Part of that I think comes with the preparation of making sure that you do have a flexible day job and you have your self-tape set up already and things like that, so that way when those last minute pop-ups do happen, you're ready to go. It's not like, oh, I don't actually have a place to film this self-tape. I need to figure that out when the tape is due tomorrow, you know. You can already have your stuff all set up and just kind of preparing in that way. I also think finding ways to multitask where healthy and where beneficial is also super awesome. I'll even practice lines sometimes when I'm going on walks because I literally find that like movement helps me to kind of remember the lines. Finding little things you can do to multitask. Yes, then you're knocking out your walk and your movement, and you're also knocking out learning your lines as opposed to just sitting in your bed learning your lines, you know? Kind of a kill two birds with one stone. Speaking of stone, I still kind of, you know. Number 4, you're probably going to be lonely and or have to seclude yourself sometimes. I think no matter who you are, when chasing your dreams, a lot of the time that can be kind of lonely, just because bettering yourself often takes secluding yourself, and a lot of that is stuff that you have to do on your own. Being busy can keep you kind of distracted from dealing with yourself, so even though you might physically be alone, you're not really like dealing with yourself and your emotions because you're super duper busy. Something I do. So just, make sure you're taking time to check in with yourself and everything like that. And then also kind of, I think, embrace the season that you're in. I think different seasons are going to bring different things. But maybe while you have a long drive to an audition, you can catch up with a friend on the phone, use like social media and things like that to your advantage in terms of like staying connected to people, because that can make it easy to still get connection with people without actually having to battle LA traffic and parking and meeting up with somebody, because everything takes 1,000 times longer here. I'd also say try to make friends in Los Angeles in your industry, because they're gonna understand it. You're gonna understand that you're both really, really busy. I honestly find last minute plans typically work out best for my friends and I, just because things change so often. So if we plan like 2 weeks in advance, one of us might book a gig, one of us might book an audition, whatever. So sometimes if it's like Friday night, I'm like, hey bro, like, you want to get coffee tomorrow? Gee, yeah, I'm free tomorrow too, let's do it. Like, last minute plans like that can work out a lot. Weekends work out better a lot of the time. There's not usually as much acting stuff then. Number 5, you're going to experience heartbreaking stuff, both in regards to the industry and then also just being in LA. The people you'll see on the streets and the homeless population is obviously a really, really big thing here, and that is something that can be really, really hard to see. And I know those things can happen everywhere, but I just feel like they're definitely more prevalent here. I've seen dudes peeing on the street with their dongs out. People are really blunt here. I've had people just tell me to move. In terms of the hard things I've experienced in the industry, a couple weeks ago I was at a commercial shoot and we had lunch, and then I heard a girl vomiting in the bathroom after lunch. I'd like to think that maybe her stomach was just upset. Yeah. Oh, it's a little bit heartbreaking too when you get super duper close to a role, get really attached to a role, feel like you're right for it, and then you don't end up getting it. Just dudes being weird. Oh, being told to lose weight because you're getting bulky, and then losing weight and getting told you're now too skinny. These are some harsh realities I have experienced since being an LA actor. I don't really know what I'm doing here or in life, but I've realized that nobody really does. We're all just kind of figuring it out, pretending we know what we're doing, pretending we know what we want. It's not that serious. Just have fun. I love acting. I love Jesus. I love sushi. Oh, these are just my opinions. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.